where you want it.
Bay 12, please.
Hello there, Transformers fans, and welcome back to another Bay 12 video review. And today we are reviewing the Transformers Legacy Blitzwing. I'm really happy that we finally got Blitzwing. For a long time there, before he was finally announced, there was rumors that he was going to be part of the Studio 86 line, which, I mean, that would have been totally fine. He was in the original 86 movie. And there was rumors that he might also get re-released in Legacy. Now, it's possible we will see a release of this guy in Studio 86 at some point, because we're starting to see re-releases of some characters who were released in the regular Generations line being re-released into the Studio Series 86 portion of the Generations line as well, like RC, for example. And it's still totally within the realm of possibilities. Now, here he is. He did end up in the Legacy line. He was the Wave 2 leader class. We didn't get a secondary leader class with him. I think they repacked Galvatron from Wave 1 with Blitzwing to fill out the cases for it, which is weird because usually I think it's 2 leader classes to a case. So why not just double up on Blitzwing since he's the only one in this wave rather than re-release Galvatron again? I mean, the Kingdom line, don't get me wrong, it is the best Galvatron mold in my opinion. But it's a little heavy-handed it's a little heavy-handed with the re-releases, much like the Earthrise Optimus mold, how he got several re-releases also, and a few repaints. So, regardless, still awesome, but I feel like they should have doubled up on Blitzwing because a lot of collectors were excited for this figure, and he is really awesome. I know there's a lot of complaints about his jet mode, and some complaints about how he's got the cockpit wing in his tank mode, but hey, I still think he looks really awesome as Blitzwing. So there you go. You got awesome artwork. This one is one of those totally enclosed windowless packages, so you really get to see the artwork really well on the front. You got the Decepticon version of the Legacy artwork banner on the side there. There he is in jet and tank mode, artwork-wise. And on the back, you've got product shots. And he comes with big Energon fist cannons for some reason. Fist finger blasters, so he can finger blast the Autobots. I understand what I'm saying. It is on purpose. So here are those. I've already said it. I'm not saying it again. Here are those. I'm gonna try it. I know I've heard some people say or talk about maybe putting it on their Legacy Menasor for really cool bigger combined mode hands for him. I'm interested to see how that's gonna look on mine. Hopefully it's cool. If it's not cool, then oh well. And I know there was a lot of people speculating when he got announced that maybe, leaked at first and then announced that maybe these are going to be the combined mode hands for Legacy Menasor, which would have been weird. Why would they release, if that was the case, why would Hasbro release combined mode parts for a character that has absolutely nothing to do with that combiner? I'm glad they didn't. I mean, Hasbro's done strange things in the past, so I wouldn't put it past them to do some weird, buy this figure so you can complete this totally other random figure set with its accessories. I'm glad they didn't do that. That would have been so annoying. Now, he does come with his classic blaster and sword. And the sword actually looks really, really good. The sword looks fantastic. The blaster looks good too. And what's also nice about that is we got a pair of his blasters, which... neat. I'll take it. I'll take extra accessories. I'm not going to complain about having extra blaster accessories or sword accessories. It would have been cool if he got 2 swords too, since he got 2 blasters and he usually only has 1. But hey, there you go. You can integrate this on here if you want, because they're doing the whole Energon weapon thing. That's pretty silly. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm just going to be setting that to the side. I don't really see a cool place for it to go in his tank mode anyway. Plus having big laser hands on the side of a tank just feels ridiculous to me. Now you can put his blasters on the side of his tank mode. Those don't look as unsightly. I mean, you can do that. It's kind of neat. You could put the sword on here somewhere. Okay, but other than that, here he is. Here's the tank with his cockpit wang on the front of it, because the original toy had it, and I guess they just didn't quite figure out the engineering to make it to where this whole section collapsed into the torso for tank mode. So, okay. Because the way transformation is, if you can put this in there, but then you've got his head sticking out. So, I guess we got to pick our display battles, I suppose. He does look really cool in tank mode. Other than that, he does have the big thrusters. He does roll because there's wheels instead of treads, just mostly due to transformation and being able to cram 2 other modes on this mold. The tank barrel does articulate. The turret does rotate, or head of the tank, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure what the proper term for this portion of the tank is called, I guess. If somebody knows, comment it below, please. And overall, I do like his tank mode. I do like it. Despite this, I do like it. I like this in a sense because it takes me back to the original Blitzwing toy a little bit. That's why I kind of like that they kept that design element of it. Yes, it's still not very cartoon accurate because he didn't really have it in the cartoon either, but hey, it's still an awesome Blitzwing, and it's still better than him being a headmaster, which is, in my opinion, more important than having a front of the jet hanging off of the tank mode. And hopefully, since we've gotten a really good update to both Astro Train and now Blitzwing, hopefully Hasbro's working on a really good update for Octane as well. Not that I don't like the Titans Return. Of the 3 Titans Return triple changers, I feel like his was the best done, with the exception of his plane mode. But even still, he's not supposed to be a headmaster. So having a non-headmaster Octane in the future, much like Blitzwing and Astro Train, I think would be very nice. But yeah, overall, his tank mode looks really cool. A lot of awesome, cool, classic Blitzwing tank mode details there on the side. You got all the treads. It would have been nice if maybe they did the inner wheels in a more silver color plastic, rather, or not necessarily silver covered plastic, but did a little coat of silver paint on those just to kind of make them not the same color as the treads, make them stand out a little bit more. I think that would have been nice, but I know Hasbro has a paint budget, and that's probably why that didn't happen. Transformation in the jet mode, we're going to go into that before we do robot mode. Pretty simple. We're going to start by lifting this panel here. It's on a side hinge, folding the tank barrel in. So now he's got the little stumpy tank barrel. We're going to untab this whole section right here and pull the robot mode arm off with it. Don't actually do that, though. I wonder how many times that happens, because I know I say don't actually do that anytime that happens in a review when I pull something off that doesn't need to be pulled off yet. But I wonder how many times. I wonder if somebody's been counting. If somebody's been counting, let me know where I'm at. But yeah, we're going to untab all that. Bring this down. This is going to tab in right here. And normally, yes, we would flare the wing out, but not for jet mode. We're actually going to fold that down like there, right there like so. Come over here to the side, do the same thing. In fact, we'll just start by doing that this time. And then untabbing that from the hand rather than just ripping off the arm. Do that. And we're going to untab this section from the back of the legs. Bring that up. Come to the legs. We're going to split them for now because we got to fold that jet mode wing out. And while we're at it, we're going to bring out the tail fin as well. Fold that up. Do the same thing over here. Bring that out. Fold that up. Bring all that out. So those are flared out. And then we're going to collapse the legs and tab them back together once again. So now you can see more of the jet is starting to form here. What's nice is transforming it from mode to mode is pretty simple, pretty cool. Now, the most difficult part of jet mode is bringing this section down and getting the nose cone out. It is just really hard to get out of there. Sometimes you have to grab the sword and kind of dig it out. Luckily, I was actually able to get it this time. Fold that all the way up, close that back up, and there's the front of the jet. Next, we're going to untab these shoulder sections here, bring them down on that double hinge, all the way down underneath, and we're pretty much just going to be kind of tucking them. Make sure you tab this section into that hip tab there, kind of tabbing them out of the way. There it goes. It just did not want to click for a second. There we go. So yeah, there you have all that whole section out of the way. And then we're going to come back up to here, and we're going to start lining things up. These are going to tab in right here to the bottom of that arm section there. But first, we're going to collapse on this double hinge the tread wing sections, whatever you want to call them. Click those into place like so, and then that'll line up, and then those will tab in. There we go. Just like that. Next up, we're going to line that back up, tab those back into place, and then on that double hinge, we're going to have the tank, the top of the tank, the turret of the tank. Again, I'm not sure what that's called, so someone please comment that below. We're going to have that tab towards the back with the barrel facing forward, and that's pretty much it in jet mode. So it's a jet with some tank parts hanging off the bottom of it. That's one of the biggest complaints about his jet mode, is that specific reason. Again, while it's not super G1 cartoon accurate, because the animators did a better job of hiding the tank parts in the cartoon, because, well, you can make some pretty awesome magic happen with a cartoon than you can with a toy. They did a pretty good job of hiding all those parts in his jet mode. And from the top, I mean, it looks really, really awesome, actually. It's a really sweet jet mode from the top. But from the front, you got a little tank barrel hanging off the bottom and some tank treads hanging off the side. So, I mean, it's an alright jet mode. I think the thrusters look really cool. It would have been cool if they had maybe some, like, blue or orange paint on the inside of the thrusters there. But again, you know, I know they've got paint budgets, which is crazy to think about, since this is basically a Voyager-sized figure that is leader class price. So it would have been nicer if they you know, went into paint on all the extra money they were making, since they charged us another $20-25 for this figure. I know that was mostly due to the engineering on it, but even still, it shouldn't be a leader class. This is definitely a Voyager sized figure. But overall, I do like the jet mode. Not the best jet mode in the world, but it just, a lot like the tank mode, it really does take me back and remind me of that original G1 toy. He does have a little bit of landing gear for his jet mode, just the centerpiece right here, so that he can, you know, kind of sit up straight in jet mode. I know, it's not the best jet mode in the world. Now, for robot mode, what we're going to do is we're going to take these right here, we're going to fold those all the way back. We're going to basically untab everything we tabbed in. Going to untab that. We're going to untab that, this whole section. We're going to untab all that. Bring those arms back up like they were in tank mode. We're going to fold that section down. Fold that section down. We're going to come over here to the hands. We're going to rotate those all the way around. Next, we're going to rotate this section around and rotate that back to cover up that hollow forearm, which that's pretty cool. I think that was pretty creative on their end. because I know a lot of people complain about hollow bits. Same thing over here. Fold that fist out, rotate and cover, and there you go. Next up, we're going to open up that panel right there, open up this panel once again, fold back in that nose cone, rotate this all the way forward, and there's the robot mode head. We're going to rotate that so it's facing this way. Then we're going to come over to the back section again, bring that all the way up, bring this hinge down, and then this piece is going to go over his shoulders like so, and then these two tabs are going to tab in right there, and there he is in the front. Now pretty much all that's left is legs, because now this backpack is already pretty much where it needs to be. Flare out these wing tips right here once again. Extend these legs on this double hinged knee. And then just fold back the wings like it was in tank mode while you're holding that knee in place. And split the thrusters for the robot mode feet. Leave these fins facing forward, because usually the fins are facing forward. But what's nice is, because of the way the hinge is designed, you can have them facing back if you don't like that aesthetically. And there he is in robot mode. And his robot mode looks solid. Very, very Generation 1 accurate. I mean, of the three modes, not molds, the robot mode is the most accurate on this toy. Which is fine for me, because I display my characters in robot mode anyway. But I can see why people would be frustrated with the other two molds or modes. He can hold his sword in one hand, his blaster in another hand, just like Blitzwing does, because he has a sword and a blaster. I'm not quite sure what kind of repaints that we'll get with this. I mean, I can't remember if it was Diaclone or not, but the toy that this was imported of, I mean, I'm sure we could get that repaint for sure. I would really like to see the Blitzwing repaint from the Transformers Devastation video game of this guy in the black and red. I think that would be really cool. Fingers crossed that Hasbro gets to some repaints from Devastation, because they have the molds for every single Decepticon trooper that appeared in that game, and those would be some really awesome repaints to get. You can have him hold his big, ridiculous blaster fingers. You can peg those on, and then you can have just crazy giant hands, which is alright. For comparison, here he is next to his fellow triple changer and partner in crime, Astrotrain. Astrotrain's still my favorite, just because I really liked trains when I was a kid. And his train mode is just so awesome. I love how they gave him the classic locomotive train mode when they did him in Siege/Earthrise, and it's finally nice to have this duo together years later. They look awesome side by side. I'm glad Hasbro finally got to them both. So there you go. He is fully articulated. Head is on a ball joint. Pretty much fully articulated shoulders. You don't get a full 360 because of the way the shoulders were designed, but you potentially could because of the way the joint was designed, so if that counts for anything. It's just because of the way this tank part hinders the articulation. It's why you don't have that full clearance. Upper bicep, single jointed elbows, swivel wrists, waist, hips, thigh, single jointed knee, side ankles, and that's pretty much it for articulation. So he does have awesome articulation. Again, robot mode is definitely the strongest of the three, but overall I think he's a pretty solid Blitzwing figure. At least he's not a headmaster this time. That's my takeaway. At least he's not a headmaster this time, and he looks a little bit more G1 accurate than the Titans Return one. So really cool. Hopefully we get some awesome repaints from this too, though. I know I want repaints. I'm willing to buy this toy again. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's review. Make sure you check out some of our other Transformers reviews, some of our other Legacy reviews, and a lot of the other content we do here on Bay 12, because we cover a lot more than just Transformers here. Like and subscribe, follow us on social media, and stay tuned for our Bay 12 Facebook live sales. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you another time. Transform and roll out.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.